I think
And we are live. Oh, perfect. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today for a special edition of Off the Record, dealing with for better or for worse with love, marriage, and relationships. I thank you all for your questions that you've already sent us, and I thank you for the questions that you are going to ask now. We have a great couple and a great guest, Brother Elwood and Sister Crystal, you're from Cincinnati, correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Out there with Skyline Chili,
Shout
with
out.
with La Rosa's Pizza and Cedar Point and Kings Island, and I was born in Cincinnati, so a lot of my family's still there, so holding it down.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the first question that we have is, who chose who first?
But the real answer, or you that little drawn out story?
No, the drawn out story. Like whoever chose who first. Like who? How did it come about?
Well, I was cutting her brother's hair in Columbus, Ohio, and he couldn't come to. Well, he had scheduled an appointment for his boys, but he couldn't make it because he had to work. So he asked his sister, would she bring the boys to the barbershop? And
Actually, I was living in Detroit at the time.
Yeah, she was visiting.
And I was home for Thanksgiving, and I went and rung my nephew to the barbershop. And then when I seen him, I said, "Oh, he's a nice looking brother." We actually had a mutual friend that I went to college with and with, so I was asking questions and stuff about him. And for our first encounter, I was intrigued of, for one, his love for Allah, but two, just how he was very attentive to, learning about me. And he wasn't concerned about what I did for a living. He was concerned about me in general. Very open-minded. At the time, I hadn't received my ex from the nation at that time. So, me being interested in him and what he believes in too also brought us closer together. So I would say, who chose who?
He definitely chose me.
I probably.
I wouldn't be here if she didn't choose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it sounded like. That's what the story sounded like. I could be being biased, but the story sounded like you chose Elwood first.
Him now, when I chose him.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you all for watching. Walaikum salam, Mimi. Okay, how long ago was that when you all met?
About 14 years ago. 14 years ago.
Okay, yes, sir. And during the early moments of you all, how long did it take for both of you all to see that the other one was like, this is the one that I'm ready to be like committed to, for life?
I would say I knew very off the top. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I knew probably because our first encounter, I lived in Detroit, we lived in Columbus, so we did a lot of talking over the phone. So we got to know each other, in that sense, not being able to see each other. So I think for me, I knew early on, like, yeah, this is the one for me.
Okay. And what about you, Ella?
I knew when I sent the key in the mail to Detroit, because I knew when she came to Columbus that weekend, I wasn't going to be at my apartment. But I mailed her the key. I don't think
that was 3 weeks into us talking too, by the way. 3 weeks he sent me the key.
Yeah, I'm a hoe.
3 weeks. Damn, look. Damn, you breaking all the rules. Elwood breaking all the rules. Now, damn, 3 weeks.
Hey, I couldn't help myself. I knew once I sent the key, when I sent the key, it was on and popping.
Okay, excellent. My sister Mimi says, "When you know." Absolutely. Why? What was it that made you know?
I think again, just conversation, that getting to know each other on an intellectual standpoint. You know, a lot of times we get in relationships and it's based off of a physical. You know, and I think him and I got to know each other mentally. I fell in love with his mind and understood, and I just loved, like I said, his love for God was just amazing. It was like none other. And then to know, with he's just a family oriented person, and that's how I am. So
Yes, sir. And Elwood, how did you know?
I knew when she was attending the mosque in Detroit every Wednesday, and she would be like, "I'm going to she was going to the meetings every Wednesday." But when the day she called me and said, I got my ex today, and I was like, "Ex? What you talking about?" She was like, "I did my student enrollment and my actual facts and everything," and so that day I knew that this is my wife, because at the particular time I wasn't in the mosque, but I always said I wanted to marry someone in the garden. And when she told me she got her ex, I mean, without me asking her to go, she was going on her own. I said, "Oh yeah, this is my wife."
Okay, excellent, wonderful. Okay, that's good. That's a great love story. Now, speaking on the families, how was it blending your relatives? How did that play into the relationship at all? Did that add on? Did that take away? How did that, like, with your brother? Did he like him, or your parents? Or how did that work out?
yeah, well, the first thing I guarantee he's gonna try to holler at you. I think that, it's just how the personality that he is. I knew that it wasn't going to be any issues when it came to my family falling in love with him too. Once they got to know him, and I feel like it was, and you correct me if I'm wrong, for his family as well. I feel like it was the same. It was natural. Like, his sisters are truly my sisters. I love them like they're my blood. His brothers are the same way, and his parents. I mean, I say it all the time. I have truly been blessed with a wonderful, wonderful mother and father-in-law, and that's hard to find as well too, because you always tend to find in relationships someone in the family doesn't like your other half. You know what I mean? But I think we're so blessed to know that, because it is so real. I feel between us too, that everybody else sees it as well, and they know we're happy. So you can't do nothing but respect that.
Excellent. And it's a great story. Mimi said, obviously, he was choosing back. Love y'all. Y'all are too cute. Naima says, say, Walaikum salam, Naima. Walaikum salam, Alicia. Okay, Alicia's obviously choosing. All right, here we go. So, how long have you all been married?
Going on 8 years.
8 years. Wonderful, man. Boom. Excellent. Okay, now, Sister Crystal, this is my first time ever having a conversation with you. But for the people who are watching, when Elwood came to Atlanta, or when he was in Atlanta when I first moved here, to see the reaction of the women just choosing him, it was just out of control. He could hoop. He was cool. Now, so I can take your advice. I can take your advice different than somebody who maybe not have grown up with some certain people choosing on him. So Elwood, you had all these people who are fans of you, and you just said, "That's it. I'm choosing her." Why?
Like the conversation, her being in Detroit, me being in Columbus, it made us talk on the phone, so it wasn't physical. So we got to know each other. She was interested in everything I believe. She wanted to know who my mom, my dad was, my grandfather. She wanted to know who this guy on the wall is, which was Master Farad Muhammad. So that started a conversation piece all the way down to the Minister of Farrakhan. So, I mean, just her being into me, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I mean, all attention ain't good attention, but she gave me the attention, but she was also, once she got to the table, she was interested in everything about me. And I didn't have to force anything to her. She's a true believer. Like, at that particular time, I didn't say, "Oh, I want a Muslim as a wife." I didn't say anything. she got to know me for herself, and then she did her own research in Detroit and got her ex. I was like, oh yeah, it's on the pop. So
Yes, sir.
by her making the move she made me, step it up as a man and make the decision to eventually marry her.
Excellent, man. Okay, that's great. That's great. What has been the biggest trial that you all have had to overcome? I'll start with you, Sister Crystal.
Whew. I mean, I think trials are ongoing, right? So I think, and I only speak on what was the most recent trial that we had to go through that was difficult was just with my mother passing. The first time we've ever had anything huge like this in our families that has happened. For him to learn how to comfort me in that time and be there for me, because he's the type of person that he wants to be the one to take away all the pain. He wants to be the one to, comfort me. But he didn't understand. Like at that particular time, I just wanted to be, with my dad. I needed to be there, just trying to figure out how things are going to go. How do we really live in this space now without her? I think that was certainly hard on our relationship and our marriage because it was something that we both weren't used to. So just as much as I was going through it, he was going through it as well. So that's again a trial that not only our life has changed, but we got to see and I got to see when things like this, perfect subject today, for better or for worse. How do you in those types of situations in your marriage, to overcome and help in overcoming that type of trial that comes up?
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. Elwood, what's been the biggest trial that you had to face so far?
I think learning how to trust her, even though she never did anything for me, not to trust her. Past experiences. Just realizing, and time would do that, just realizing that she's not my past. And one day her father was talking to us, and he said that when you enter a new relationship, y'all both have to let go and just trust each other from that point, which is easier said than done. But just learning, just overcoming that trust thing and realizing that he was what I said.
Excellent. Okay, man, wonderful. And thank you all. I see your questions. I'm coming straight to it. And Elwood, okay, on the trust issue thing, I got trust issues as well. So put me on. I'm saying, how you get over these trust issues? Let me know. What's the Elwood, what'd you do to get over your trust issues?
Oh man, I help that. I think the other person can help that. Just like with me, we didn't necessarily trust, but there's things that I had to do as a man, and I wasn't perfect at it. But I feel like we had to be patient. The other person had to be patient with them, because if they have communicated to you or what they've been through, and she communicated what she's been through, I communicated to her what I've been through. So it's just her being patient with me, you know what I'm saying, or me being patient with her. And as time went on, I realized that, I can trust her. I can secure the bag with her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wonderful, wonderful. And we come into that, and I got some questions on how you all do well in business as well. Naima says, how did you balance your time between your spouse and how do you all balance your time between your spouse and your family time?
So I incorporate family time into our one-on-one time too. I mean, I think that, it's very important too that we do, I think, a very good job having us time, because we definitely need to still, court each other, even in a marriage, just to keep things fresh. But I think that how we balance it is that we just try to make certain times where, okay, this weekend is just all dedicated to the children, doing certain things like we just did. We just came back from Florida with the children, just trying to share different experiences. But then we try to create our own time that we have for each other, like working out together, that spending time with each other, we can even be in the home together with the children there. And like we painted our basement together. The children was upstairs, but that was some quality time him and I had together. So it's just being creative with your time, and also when you are able to have like a babysitter stuff like that. Okay, how can you incorporate one-on-one time with the children still here?
Excellent. And for you, Elwood, how do you balance your time?
I think y'all both finding things that you're interested in. Like me and her, we like that marriage boot camp. So that was our thing every Thursday. So like on Tuesday, she'd be like, I can't wait for Thursday. I'd be like, I can't wait to, and we was able to learn from the different couples. And like I when we was in Florida, I told her, I said, I wish we could go to a marriage boot camp because you so much, and there's so much more we need to learn. And being around other couples, you can learn from them, and also other couples will let you know how blessed you are. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you could be around people and we can come home and be like, man, we blessed, and we able to.
Well, we was just arguing about that serious.
We was just in one last night. I won, so everything's all good now. So
that's a good thing. Okay, so I got a question. So speaking of the other couples, how do you all double date, or does that better to bring more couples around you? Like you said, that makes you appreciate what you all have more, or do y'all like to try to keep it limited to like maybe 3 couples, or do y'all go out in group settings? How does that work?
Yeah, we hang out with a lot of couples. We don't do it. We don't hang out with them to just for us to be like, oh, we're more blessed. But we like to hang out with just other couples, man, being around other people because, like me and her both say, like we're on social media for 3 reasons: to inspire, to impact, and get this money. And sometimes we're not perfect, and we have our issues and problems too. But sometimes, I feel like with our experience and things we've been through and what we believe, then we're automatic the example. And we're not the example because I'm saying we are, is because of how we conduct ourselves in a relationship. And then people can feel, even the people that don't know us, they can feel for the most part if it's real or fake. You know what I'm saying? So it being real, because I'm in it to say that, then God sets us up to be an example for other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is the best part of you all's marriage?
Can I say it online? Nah.
You didn't know you was gonna get the whole experience, did you?
You know what? The best, and I'm not saying this just because she's sitting here, is when she's in the kitchen and she asks me to talk to her, because they like to talk. But when I can engage with her and we're having good conversation, and most times when we have good conversation, I have to leave or she has to leave, and it sucks. But I think that's the best part of us in good conversation. But we're both learning in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's not a gossiping conversation. It's just us building for real. I think that's the best part. And then, all the above. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sister Crystal, what's the best part of marriage from your standpoint?
I would say our children is the best part, because I feel like, this is our way. For one, it's a blessing that God has given us, and I think that, just us working together as a team and cultivating these beautiful human beings, in a world like as such, and just seeing how blessed we are and how smart they are. I mean, you can just look in their little eyes and see like, this is from us, and we are blessed to be their parents, and we are blessed to see them grow and them prosper. And I mean, I think just, knowing that this is something that we did together, I think that's probably the best part of our marriage, our children.
Excellent. Okay, well, how do you all? This is something that I've had to deal with some of the people, the women who I used to talk to in high school way back in the day, whatever. Is video games or me with my phone and posting on Instagram and alone, like me desiring my alone time and her desiring to not to take away all of my alone time. So, how do you all deal with that? With giving each other space, like in a good way?
I mean, for us, so you're saying like what?
Like if you want to go spend if you want to go get your hair done or go to the mall, or if Elwood says he wants to go play basketball and stuff like that, how do you like give each other space so that when y'all come back it's all good, but you're not like it's not like a, oh, here you go playing basketball thing again.
Yeah, no, we encourage that. If it's something positive, of course, it's going to be encouraged. You know, no, something that is not. I think we are very good at telling each other when we feel like something's getting a little excessive. But I think, I mean, I think we encourage, but I think we just genuinely love to be around each other where those times are far in between. You
know? Excellent. How do you all handle disappointment within the relationship?
Don't expect it. You know, I mean, like if I don't expect anything, and I'm just, you know, things I can't get disappointed. But I don't think. I mean, that's a hard question because I think what we believe in gives us a different outlook on disappointment. You know what I mean? So that's where our foundation that we have, we can always go back to. And when disappointment could come, I think we can handle it with grace because of what we believe in.
Okay, and Elwood, how do you handle disappointment?
I think what I deal with is that it's just another trial. Like last night, you know, it's just knowing that we gonna overcome it, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I disappointed her and vice versa, but it not just going so long. I just look at it as a trial, and whatever it is, how do we overcome it? You know, us finding a way, if it's finding a way, or going to what we say we believe, but for real, just another trial. That's how I look at it. That's the best way.
Excellent. Now, as men, we have big egos, a lot of pride most of the time. Elwood, if you mess up, how do you apologize to Sister Crystal?
I'm learning just to be straightforward and just apologize. You know what I'm saying? There were situations that I created, but how she came at me, I'm like, so I was stubborn for a couple of days. When all reality, you know, it's a long story with what I'm talking about, but it's just me saying, you know what, babe, I messed up. I apologize, and it would have been over it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it goes a couple of days, it's because of me. You know what I'm saying?
Getting better,
but if I create something and she brings it to my attention, then just apologizing. You know, man, I messed up, my bad. You know.
Excellent. Man, Elwood, I gotta tell the women, hey, don't be watching this because y'all gonna be trying to hold me to that same standard. No. Okay, Sister Crystal, how do you apologize if you mess up with Brother Elwood?
I immediately. I don't like that tension. I don't like going around the house being mad at each other, not talking to. I don't like it at all. One thing I always told him at the very beginning: don't you leave this house without telling me you love me. Because you never know what's going to happen. And I don't like to go to bed mad, so I like to talk about things. But he doesn't, you know. Now I've learned to kind of like let things boil over a little bit. I need like if I'm wrong, you know, and sometimes it'll take me a moment that I have to sit back and kind of reflect on what he had shared as to why he felt like I was wrong. Think about it and say, you know what, he's right, and I'll go and I'll apologize, and I have no problems with that at all.
Yeah, she don't waste no time. Brother Nuri posted a picture of his wife a while ago, and I used the post on her, and it said, "I wish I would have met you sooner so I can love you longer."
Oh shit! Oh damn!
I said it in the shot. They like, man, that's some game. I said, nah, that's the tweet. But anyway, I posted that same post for my wife, but I went 2 days being stubborn, so my word wasn't bond. I really believe that, you know, about her. So it's like, so when he posted that and I reposted it, that's how I try to live. And because I need to nip it in the bud now because she don't like being, you know, us being mad at each other. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing that, then I try to nip it in the bud, you know, before we go to bed or, you know, at least sometime the next day, depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. Man, Elwood know how to drink it up, boy. My God. you gotta make it hard. You gotta make it hard for us, boy. I swear to God.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay, what kind of traditions do you all do that other couples should learn from? Traditions. Like how you said don't go to bed without saying I love you, or I mean leave the house without saying I love you, or things like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean that's definitely. We, you know, one thing that I feel like a lot of couples don't do is hold hands. And him and I hold hands all the time. I mean, we can here hold hands. We can be in the car holding hands. And I feel like too that's important for our children to see that too. A lot of couples that personal interaction, that personal touch, and that touch is something else. You know, you can feel someone's energy, and I think, you know, just that's important for him and I to continue to share and show that, you know, holding hands, or, you know, in any moment, I could be sitting at work and get a text and him telling me he loves me. You know, those I feel like are very important in a relationship and marriage, you know, to keep everything, that reassurance going as for a woman. That is.
And I think you, before you can receive that, I think you both got to like each other. So if you like that person, you're not holding their hand, even if they want to do it. You're not out of clear. You know, you're not texting out of clear blue. I love you and stuff like that. You have to really like the person and really want, you know, spite of what you go through, you want this thing to work, you know, and you know. So I think one of the things for me is when we are in a situation and she's very emotional, I relieve her by saying we're gonna get through this. But what I need to get this out off my chest, just like and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you know you're going to overcome whatever you go through, it just make it more doper, man. Because and you can walk in a relationship with more confidence, knowing that we're gonna get through whatever we go through.
And I think I'm pretty safe to speak for you too. I mean, this is my best friend. We are best friends. And I remember a conversation when we had some couples around, and I had said that statement. One couple had said, you know, that's just so cliche. It's not like, but really, like, well, what are you in it for if that's not your best friend? This is somebody that I can confide into. This is someone that's never going to steer me wrong. This is someone that I can trust with my whole entire being, everything. So him being my best friend, if there's anything I have going on, he's the first person besides Allah, you know. But him, like he's really my best friend. I'd rather be with him than any of my girlfriends any day. And as my witness when I say that.
That's beautiful. Y'all about to make me make some phone calls. Oh my God. Okay, what about on social media when you all were first, you know, falling in love and things of that nature? How long did it take you all to be like, all right, we're gonna put this on social media, we're gonna say publicly, this is who I'm interested in, or did y'all wait for a long time?
Well, when we met each other, neither one of us was on any social media. When we moved to Cincinnati, I told her I was going to get on Instagram just so I can promote what I do to help me bring clients. And then one day I posted a picture of my family, And a dude came in the barber shop and he asked for me and he said, man, what inspired me to come see you is you posted a picture of your family on Instagram. And he said, that's the type of people I want to be around. So that inspired me to move forward by posting more pictures of my wife and my family. So it happened organically, but by that man coming in the shop saying that, and I learned up to this point that people just want to deal with certain people, especially when it comes to a barber. So that's what inspired me to do it. And then later on, when she started the boutique, that's when she started her Instagram.
He actually started for me.
Yeah,
because I wasn't into social media at all.
I had to check all DMs, so I started.
He has all access to everything. He has all access to everything. So, I think for me, it's just, and he always teaches me too that people buy into your lifestyle. So when you are promoting your family and two, when people meet us, they see, because people post anything on social media. People can front all day, every day on social media. But from us, when they truly meet us and they see, like, this is for real. Like, they're like this even on social media and in person. So for me, I think that it was no question. I mean, if I'm going to be on here, like you said, we're here to inspire, empower, and get this money. That's the only reason why we're on social media. Any of that other foolishness, you can go somewhere with that.
Excellent. And I want to thank everyone who's watching, and I want to thank my sister Mimi, who sponsored this podcast with her book, ABC, I Love Me. Shout out to that great book. Okay, next. What about trusting each other with each other's phones and like phone codes, things like that? Is that like something you have to go through or no?
Nah, that's easy, right?
Here you go. We don't have locks on our phones at all.
Yeah, and I think that's easy depending on the life that you live. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're really striving to do what's right, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Now if I was, out and about doing certain things, then that probably would be an issue because you have to hide things. So, but that's not an issue.
Okay, excellent. How do you all how do you all help each other in your goals as far as financially? Because you all said that you want to motivate, inspire, and get this money together. So how do you all help each other get, reach you all's financial goals?
I'm striving. Whatever he envisions, as if you think of a thing, you can achieve it. When God created the heavens and the earth, He destroyed the impossible.
Yes, ma'am.
When if he has something that something positive, something from help someone, some people, I'm all for it, and I'm backing. I think in the financial aspect, we're good people. It don't matter if something got to get done, it's gonna get done. We're very good. I feel we're very good teammates in that aspect.
I'm Tom Brady in my house, bro.
Yay! Yes, sir. so you winning. You the GOAT then, all right? Yes, sir.
All these
Okay, now Elwood, how important has she been to helping you reach to you reaching your goals?
Oh man, I'm where I'm at because of her. All praise be to God. It's been a good woman to bring out the best in the man, and she brings out the best in me. I'm gonna bring out the best in her. God's quality wouldn't be God's quality without my wife beside me. She was the one that pushed me when he was been pushing me to get my own shop, and I had my fears, but also I wanted to put myself in a position where I didn't need anybody. I wanted to be able to, I wanted barbers, but if they all left, I wanted to still be able to stay above water. But one time I got frustrated, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. And she was like, I thought you said God is sufficient. And when she told me it's something that I teach them, it made me check myself, and that's the example of a help meet, because she helped me meet this goal that I had before I even met her. So it been nothing but a blessing, man. That's why I'm scared to mess it up.
Man, y'all okay. I'm about to write my next play gonna be about y'all too, because that's just beautiful, man. That's really inspiring. And anybody who knows me knows if I'm inspired to talk about some like, oh yeah, that's real good, y'all. I believe that. We buy into your story. I believe it and I support it. What advice, Sister Crystal, would you give to any future wives out there?
Don't fall more in love with the person of today. Fall in love more with the person that you that has the potential. Yes,
potential. Yeah.
Fall in love with that potential because a woman can bring out the best in a man, and vice versa. You know, sometimes as women, we get so wrapped up for one, how old we are. If we're a certain age and we still haven't found it, patience. You gotta be patient because God can't bring anybody in your life if you don't show that discipline of patience. And just two, material. He knows me. When he proposed to me, I didn't need no extravagant ring or anything because my true diamond is sitting right next to me. So,
yes.
You gotta really. That's why I feel like a lot of young couples nowadays don't last, is because they get so wrapped up into the material and not enough in the love and true love. So, to all my sisters out there, patience.
Excellent. Y'all, okay, I'm about to go to my mama's, former college she attended, Wilberforce. I'm about to go to Central State. I'm about to get me somebody. Okay. Elwood, what advice would you give to future husbands?
I say go meet her mom, her grandma, whoever raised her. I think that's important because this is an investment. Because you're going to get what whoever raised them, and unless you're a particular type of man where you're equipped to shape her because you have patience, because you're being guided by the Creator. But I say go meet her family, go meet who raised her, because that tells you everything you need to know, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. And I'll be a witness that I've seen that. What has been the difference, we'll start with you, Sister Crystal, between raising sons versus raising daughters?
Attitude. I think, I feel like for me, it's easier to raise a boy, a son, because I feel like they just, you don't have to, for a mother, for me, I feel like, because this is not really, I don't want to use the language, not a son is not a reflection of me, but when you look at a little girl, like, I'm her example. I have to be this woman that is going to mold her, because she's a sponge, and everything that I do, she does. When I come home from work, I take off my heels, she walks in my heels. I come home from work, I start cooking in the kitchen, she'll go upstairs, cook in the kitchen. So for me, I think the responsibility over a son versus a daughter is more for a daughter, because she's going to be looking at me for everything, how to take care of her children, how to take care of her husband, how to take care of her home, all of that stuff. So I think that it's more pressure for me as a woman, because I want to be the best and I want her to be the best. I had a beautiful example in my mother, and I strive every single day to keep my mother living in me by doing similar things that she was doing, for my dad, for my brother, for me, for Elwood, for all of us, So I think, there's definitely differences. I'd rather probably, I can't say I'd rather, but I think it's easier for a boy to raise a boy than for a girl on my side.
Okay, excellent. Hold on, bro, Elwood. Joshua Van says 100. Walaikum salam, Aisha. And okay, Elwood, for you, what is the difference between raising sons versus daughters?
Me, I think it's the same as far as like striving to be the best example because I think, how I treat and talk about my daughter, how I treat her mother, how I treat, how I do things, how I live my life. I feel like that's who she may choose one day. So, but with my sons, it's more striving to be the best example on handling things, even though I failed 100 times, but handling things, dealing with the mom, dealing, how conduct myself. I don't know. I just think it's been an example on both ends. The best example you can be because they're watching, and just like sometimes in an argument, I don't want to argue sometimes, even though it can happen. It's because sometimes you can be so emotional in an argument. Now you've been a bad example of yourself, and they're sitting back watching that, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna handle things the way you had.
Excellent, and it's great. And thank you all for your questions, and thank you all for tuning in. And you all can see this on YouTube if y'all search Joshua Muhammad Off the Record in about an hour after I upload this. Okay, what advice would you give, Sister Crystal, to future mothers? To future mothers.
Pray, and pray some more. It takes a prayer. And I will say I left there where I can definitely improve, but I feel like, there's times that there's some things that you don't have any control over, unless you get intervene from God to come in and help in the situations that come into play when you're raising children, and just love and strive to be the example that you can be.
Excellent. And what advice would you give to future fathers?
They said be fruitful and multiply. The part that we aced is multiplying, but we gotta get that fruit. And I think once you get that wisdom, that knowledge, and that understanding before you have your first seed, you're gonna be a better example of yourself, or a better example of who God created you to be. I think just seeking knowledge, talking with fathers that already did it, so you can be the best example that you can be, even though you're gonna make your mistakes too.
Excellent. Okay, we got another question. Brother Derek for real said, "All praises to Allah. Thank you all for enduring and being a great example of a married couple, how a married couple should conduct themselves. Even though my heart may ache right now from a failed marriage, this is good healing medicine for me. How long should one wait to move on? And how did you know when it was that time? And how would you know if it was that time?"
Well, first, pray Allah that was to that comment. I think there's no time limit whenever you're ready. I mean, that's a hard question to answer because it's different for different people. But I feel like as long as you keep up prayer, God gonna send who's supposed to be there when they're supposed to be there.
Excellent. And for you, Brother Elwood?
Me, I believe that, like we're taught, if we do God's work, He'll do our work for us. I think once we wrap ourselves totally into Him, everything else will work itself out. So when it comes, it's gonna come. I don't. You just know it just happens. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I met her, I knew she knew. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best way I can answer that question. I just think, going to the Creator and wrapping yourself with Him, and everything else works itself out. When you go to Him sincerely.
Excellent, and thank you all for your response, and thank you, Brother Derek, for your great question. All right, we want to thank. Okay, all these questions. Boom. Thank you all for taking time out of your schedule to watch this, and thank you, Brother Elwood and Sister Crystal, for coming on. You all have been great. I'm going to chop some clips up, and he says thank y'all for to share tomorrow on my Instagram and Facebook as well. What closing remarks would you all like to say, as far as in a world where there aren't that many people who seem to be promoting, 72% of households are ran by single mothers in the Black community, divorces at a high rate. What do you give to people to make them still believe in marriage and still believe, that the one is out there for them? Sister Crystal, if you go first.
I mean, there's still time, but we got to learn who we are first as an individual to be able to handle when God brings that person into our lives and recognize if they are truly that one for us. One thing I can speak for women where we go wrong is we tune down those red flags that God may be trying to show us because we're so eager to find love. But if we stay true to ourselves, realize who we are as an individual, then everything will fall in place.
Excellent. And 1 second, bro. So they've been married for 8 years and been together for 14 years. Go ahead, Elwood.
I say patience. There's some men that come in the shop and my advice to them is continue to let God work on you because whoever she is, He's still working on her. And sometimes we don't look in the mirror and realize that who God got for us, we're not ready for them. Because why would He give us a blessing and all we're gonna do is destroy it anyway? So I think to continue to let God work on you, but God only can work on you if you decide to work on yourself first. And once you do that, then He's working on someone for you. Everything He created got a pair.
He just took the words right out of my mouth.
You know what I'm saying? So if every raindrop and every snowflake got a pair, you don't think He got a pair for you? Yeah. So I think just being patient and continue to work on yourself and allow God to work on you as He's working on whoever that person is. And then she just walks in your life like, bro, you on campus right now. You'll bump into her on the way to the library tonight. You be like, right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I go, man. We gotta just continue to work on ourselves, even us in relationships. Continue to work on self, upgrading yourself, just so you could be a better self, for your other self, which is your wife or your husband.
Absolutely, man. I thank everyone for watching. I thank our guest, Elwood. It was nice to be introduced to you, Sister Crystal. Knowing you, I've known Elwood since I first moved to Atlanta. He's always been on his square, been an upright man and holding it down, real one. Thank you. And I want to put this on YouTube. I'm gonna tell every girl to not watch this because they're gonna be like, after this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Josh, you got this. This is the measurement right here." Oh yeah. His love at first sight out here. Okay.
Video with them young boys talking about. Thing up.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all very much for coming on, man. I love you, family, and I love your family, bro. Answers to Crystal.
All
right, so
yes, sir.